Boxing, a sport that has been etched into the annals of Olympic history, tracing its roots back to the ancient games in 688 BC. It's a spectacle of strength, strategy, and stamina, a dance of dexterity that was once the highlight of the ancient Olympic Games. The sport was so revered that it was a part of the pentathlon, a 5-event contest that was considered the ultimate test of an athlete's prowess. In those times, boxing was more than just a sport. It was a testament to human willpower, a display of raw, untamed strength that drew crowds from far and wide. The ancient Greeks, who introduced boxing into the Olympic Games, held the sport in high regard. It was a brutal yet beautiful spectacle, one that celebrated the strength of the human spirit just as much as it tested the limits of physical endurance. However, with the fall of Rome, the sport disappeared into the shadows, lost in the pages of history for centuries. It wasn't until the 17th century in England that boxing began to resurface. It was a different era, a different world, but the essence of the sport remained the same. The raw, unyielding strength, the strategic mind games, the sheer willpower that defined the sport in its ancient form, all of it was still there. The revival of boxing in the 17th century was more than just the resurgence of a sport. It was a testament to the enduring appeal of the sport, the timeless allure of a contest of strength and strategy. It was a reminder of the sport's roots, a tribute to its ancient heritage. But most importantly, it was a step towards the sport's future, a leap into an era where boxing would once again take center stage, this time in the grandest sporting event of them all, the modern Olympic Games. As the sport evolved, so did its place in the grandest stage of them all, the modern Olympic Games. Boxing, in its modern form, made its Olympic debut at the 1904 Games in St. Louis. It was a spectacle of strength and strategy, a dance of dexterity, a testament of tenacity, and it was reintroduced to the world in a grand way. The initial years of boxing in the modern Olympics were dominated by the United States and Great Britain, with the two countries taking turns at the helm of the leaderboard. The first few decades of Olympic boxing were marked by a steady evolution in the sport. Initially, there were only 7 weight categories, ranging from flyweight to heavyweight. But as the sport grew in popularity, so did the number of categories. By the time the 1936 Berlin Olympics rolled around, there were 8 categories, a number that had increased to 12 by the Seoul Olympics in 1988. It's worth noting that the Olympics have been a proving ground for some of the greatest boxers in history. The legendary Muhammad Ali, then known as Cassius Clay, began his illustrious career with a gold medal at the Rome Olympics in 1960. George Foreman, another heavyweight champion, also started his journey to stardom with a gold at the 1968 Mexico City Olympics. And who could forget Sugar Ray Leonard, who won the light welterweight gold at the 1976 Montreal Olympics, before going on to become one of the most celebrated boxers of his generation. Each of these champions, and many more, have left their indelible marks on the canvas of the Olympic boxing ring. Their stories of struggle and triumph continue to inspire countless young athletes around the globe. And yet, despite these great success stories, the journey of boxing in the Olympics was far from smooth. The sport has faced its share of controversies and challenges, from scoring scandals to the question of amateurism. But through it all, boxing has remained a staple of the Olympic Games, a testament to the enduring appeal of this ancient sport. The ring of the Olympics has seen many a legend, but the sport's journey was far from over. While boxing had long been a male-dominated sport, the winds of change blew in the 21st century. A transformative moment for the boxing world came with the London Olympics in 2012. The sound of the bell that year didn't just signal the start of another bout, it marked the dawn of a new era in the sport. For the first time in the history of the Olympics, women stepped into the boxing ring, not as cheerleaders or spectators, but as competitors. The inclusion of women's boxing was a significant milestone, not just for the sport but for gender equality in sports. It was a powerful statement that women are just as capable of delivering powerful punches and showcasing strategic prowess in the ring. The debut of women's boxing in the Olympics was not merely symbolic, it was transformative. It broke barriers and challenged stereotypes. It made boxing more inclusive and diverse. It brought a fresh perspective to the sport, and it inspired a new generation of female boxers. Among the women who stepped into the ring that year, 2 names stood out: Nicola Adams and Claressa Shields. Nicola Adams, a British boxer, won the first ever Olympic gold medal in women's boxing. Her victory wasn't just a personal triumph, it was a victory for all women in sports. On the other side of the Atlantic, American boxer Claressa Shields also made her mark by winning a gold medal in the middleweight division. These women didn't just win medals, they won respect and recognition for female boxers. Their victories paved the way for other women to step into the ring, to challenge norms, and to pursue their dreams. They proved that boxing is not just a man's game, but a sport where anyone, regardless of gender, can excel. The inclusion of women added a new dimension to Olympic boxing, making it truly universal. They've shown us that in the ring, it's not about being a man or a woman, it's about being a fighter. And in this fight, everyone has a fair shot at victory. As we look to the future, the boxing ring continues to be a platform for athletes to display their skill and tenacity. Boxing in the Olympics has always been a spectacle of strength, strategy, and sheer will. It's not just about the powerful punches, but also the spirit behind each blow, the determination to outwit, outlast, and outperform. As we gaze into the crystal ball of Olympic boxing, we see an arena teeming with potential. The future holds a roster of rising stars, ready to step into the ring and carve their names into the annals of Olympic history. These athletes, hailing from all corners of the globe, bring with them a diversity of styles and techniques that promise to keep the sport fresh and exciting. We also anticipate changes in the boxing landscape. The push for athlete safety continues to be a priority, with ongoing discussions regarding the use of safety equipment and the introduction of new rules to protect our boxers. While the traditional tenets of boxing remain, these modifications aim to ensure that every athlete can compete in a safe and fair environment. The future also holds the potential for more inclusion. With women's boxing having made its debut not too long ago, we anticipate a rise in the number of female boxers, adding another layer of dynamism to the sport. We foresee a future where boxing is not just a man's game, but a global sport that embodies the Olympic spirit of unity and equality. For fans worldwide, the future of Olympic boxing promises a spectacle like no other. Expect a whirlwind of adrenaline-fueled bouts, riveting rivalries and moments of triumph that will leave you on the edge of your seat. The boxing ring will continue to be a stage for stories of determination, resilience, and glory. The future of Olympic boxing looks promising, holding the promise of more thrilling bouts and legendary athletes. Boxing in the Olympics has been a journey of powerful punches, legendary athletes, and breaking barriers. From its humble beginnings in ancient Greece to its modern incarnation, we've witnessed an evolution that speaks volumes about the spirit of competition and human resilience. Each punch thrown, each victory achieved, and each barrier broken has shaped the face of this sport, creating a legacy that's as compelling as the bouts themselves. The introduction of women's boxing in the 2012 Olympics was a game-changer, opening doors for female athletes and adding a new dimension to the sport. And as we look to the future, the prospects are exciting. With the promise of more inclusivity and innovation, Olympic boxing is set to captivate us for many more years. So as we wait for the next bell to ring in the Olympic boxing ring, we can be sure that the sport will continue to captivate and inspire. Don't forget to subscribe, like and share, and join us for more journeys into the history of Olympic sports.